Well, good morning, Gulf Coast, and welcome to another edition of Expert Alert. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, and this is where we bring in experts from different areas of business along the Gulf Coast and share their expertise with us. This morning we have back with us Carrie and Jennifer Milligan from Strojny Financial. We appreciate y'all coming in because there's so many things that I learn every time that y'all come in here. It's like, wow, you know, you're talking about retirement and this and that, and I know one of the big questions on everybody's lips right now is, I filed my tax return in early March. I haven't received my refund. When in the world am I going to get it? How do I find out?
Well, we're getting a lot of that.
I filed mine April 15th, and I checked mine this morning, and it said it's processing.
Right. Processing.
Right.
So there's a couple extra things that IRS is looking to check this year as they put those refunds out. A lot of it centers around the stimulus checks and the recovery rebate credit. So if you weren't an all or nothing, like let's say you didn't get one of your stimulus checks that you were supposed to, or if you were in the phase out where you only got partial checks, there's some math that IRS is checking around that as they release those refunds. And there's other things that could be holding it up. Basically, they had to stop in the middle of tax season, refigure some stuff around unemployment, refigure some stuff around the premium tax credit and government health insurance. They had to issue stimulus checks, just slowed them down a little bit. So it'll get there. They keep telling us they're coming.
And the unfortunate part is you can't, the only thing you can do is call 1-800-829-1040 and be prepared. You might want to have that on speaker so you can do other things because it's going to take a while.
It's going to take you a while, huh?
Yeah, but that's the unfortunate part. There's really no hotline or another way to check it. Once people look on the website.
Because if you go online like I did, all it's going to say is processing.
That's it.
And it's unlikely that even if you get a person on the phone that they're going to be able to expedite the refund. They're just going to tell you.
It's working through the process.
We're working on it, exactly. And they have, it could be, as you mentioned, 2 to 3 weeks. It could be 2 to 3 months.
It's been, I've got people I know who's been waiting for at least 2 months, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. But if it says processing, they've received the return, it's in their system. There's not really anything else anybody else can do to speed that up at that point.
Just keep watching your checking account if you had direct deposit.
Right.
Do something like that.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Should I be concerned with proposed increase of capital gains?
So
getting that a lot.
Yeah, we're getting that a lot. We're getting a lot. Well, there's a lot of things been thrown out from the administration's proposals for changes in taxes. So there's a lot going on. What that proposal, and again, it's a proposal, it is not a law, right? So you know how this works. There's negotiation, and you got to get the votes to pass these proposals to bills. But what the president had said is they're wanting to raise capital gains for people who make more than $1 million. Okay, so income $1 million and up, and want to raise the capital gains from 20% to 39.6%. Which would be the ordinary income highest bracket. So for folks in that caught a lot of people's attention if they're in that level, for sure, because that's almost a 20% increase, and that's on long-term capital gains. And so it's not, short-term capital gains are treated at your ordinary income tax bracket anyway, which they would probably been at that level. But now long-term capital gains have always been lower. Now, having said that, the majority of people in America don't fall into that category, okay? The vast majority of Americans. So the current long-term capital rate is 15%, okay? So again, you hold a stock, let's say, for a year and 1 day, you sell it, that's a long-term gain, you get 15%. Even if your tax bracket's 24%, you're saving 9%. So for most people out there, I would not be concerned with it. It can be a planning issue if you're going to be over that income level, okay? But the majority of people will not be affected by it. I would think maybe the only thing we may see is if it comes to fruition, then there may be a little bit of a sell-off in the market for people trying to reposition before the end of the year in those levels. And that's maybe where we might see an effect across the board. But as far as most people's taxes, I wouldn't be concerned with that.
Okay, and this next question here, I had a typo on it. So, and I'll tell you, we're going to be talking about, retiring at a certain age. When you have on there, the gentleman had asked the question, I'm 62, and you said that you'd have to draw from your full retirement age, which would be 66 in 10 months. And my typo was I had put if they were born in 54, they would have been born in 58
Right.
instead of 54. So, but talk about that. I mean, that's a question that I have. I mean, I'll be 65 this year.
Right.
And, you know, I went online and checked the little thing, and it says you have to be 66 in 4 months to get full retirement.
Yeah. I think what's been ingrained in a lot of people over the years is that, have you heard this? I'm going to retire at age 65. 65, 65, 65. Everybody thinks it's 65. So your Social Security full retirement age varies based on your birth year. Okay.
Right.
And so, you know, at my point, I'm in 67 and some odd months, right? So by your birth year, it does change, and that's your full retirement age.
And it's real easy to do. Matter of fact, right before we went on the air, I pulled my phone up and said, you know, how old do I need? I was born in 1956. How old do I need to be to get my full retirement? And it said 66 in 4 months.
Right.
So basically,
And
I've
you
got
can
another
also,
year and a half.
Right. And you can also go to ssa.gov and look at that as well. And go ahead.
You can draw, you know, as early as 62, but there's going to be a reduction in benefit each year. But it works both ways. The longer you wait past that full retirement age, you get an 8% increase each year that you wait, also all the way up to age 70. So there's really no benefit in waiting past 70, because you're not going to get any additional benefit.
And I plan on, you know, staying, working around until they run me out of here. So,
and that's the thing, Jim. This is one of the more important decisions people make, and I think sometimes they don't do the due diligence on that. And I hate to say that, but you know, it's not a cookie cutter answer. First off, full retirement age is different for all of us.
Right.
And like she said, there's a cumulative effect. You've got a break-even point, right? To go back, if you wait, it's somewhere roughly around 8% each year. The benefit would grow to age 70. That's a pretty big deal. But let's say I'm not in great health. Let's say, and I can't work. In my medical history of my family, I may want to draw now, even though long term, right, it would be more. But there's that break-even point,
right?
You know, so that's a thing to think about. Like if you like your job, and you're healthy, and there's no issues, you know, why take it? Because the other thing is, if you take it before your full retirement age, okay. So you said 66 and
4 months.
4 months. If you take it before 66 and 4 months and continue to work, you have an issue because you cannot make for 2021. It's $18,960 that you can't make more of earned income.
Or they'll reduce your benefit. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, you made, you know, $24,000. That's about $6,000 more. They're going to reduce your benefit by $3,000. They reduce it $1 for every 2 year over. Now, after you get to 66 in 4 months, that's not an issue.
That goes away.
That's what I was going to ask. You know, after 66 in 4 months, I can make however much I want and still draw my Social Security.
You'll still pay income tax on it, separate issue.
So
people need to go there, Jennifer.
Right, people need to know that.
85% income you'll pay income tax on 50 to 85% of your benefit, depending on your income, but you won't have any reduction in benefit from Social Security Administration. Two different things. People get them mixed up. That's why I pointed out.
Right, because because some people say, well, my mom gets Social Security and she doesn't even have to file a tax return. So there's a calculation if the Social Security, how much of it is included in taxable income based on your other income. So a lot of people get confused with that too. Well, why do they not get taxed on their Social Security? They don't even have to file, but I have to. And it's based on your other income.
Another one we get a lot. How old do I have to be before I never have to file taxes again? It's not an age thing, it's an income thing.
Oh, okay. That's I've heard that one before.
Right.
So it's as long as you make below a certain amount, you don't have to file income tax?
Right.
Correct. Right. Yeah, and that's the difference. But I would tell people to, you know, you can go to the Social Security Administration offices and talk to them about planning. We help our clients with planning with Social Security because it's truly an important thing in their life and retirement.
Boy, how y'all keep up with all this stuff is just beyond me. Thank y'all for being on the show again. As always, you know, we'll see you back next month on another edition of Expert Alert. Carrie and Jennifer Milligan from Strojny Financial. If you have any questions, of course, you can give them a call. They're located on Pass Road in Biloxi, Suite F, Strojny Financial Services. I guess a lot of people still waiting to file their federal income tax too.
We got them rolling in
We're
every day.
Still got them coming.
If you need some financial help, please give them a call, and we'll see you next time on Expert Alert.
If you have a question for any of our experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert. For a list of any of our upcoming experts, go to WLOX.com and click on Expert Alert.